Give it back.
You want it? Come get it. What you gonna do about it?
No! I want this thing settled, and I mean now. Is that the father, not your girl? You the father? You the father? You the father?
Scare him.
Your door's open. Neighbor calling. It's a damn undercover cop. Very nice to meet you, Agent Broker. You've worked up a pretty bad rep around here.
I don't want any more problems.
Tell your little girl she's got nothing to worry about with such a tough daddy around.
They call him Gator for some reason.
The word is he's cooking up that meth.
I don't want that narc broker laying low in my town. Let's take him out.
Well, let's first start. How did you get, approached for the project, and how did you get, involved?
Well, I've got a good relationship with Sylvester Stallone. I made a few movies with him called The Expendables.
Yeah.
We get a lot of spare time on our hands. We talk about a lot of things. And he had a great project. And he never told me he'd written it for himself. He just said, "Oh, Jason, I want you to read this thing." And I loved it. I thought it was terrific. It pulled on all the heartstrings, and it was great action. And, all the characters were really sort of interesting and cool. And I think... I just hadn't had an opportunity to do something that was sort of a quality that Sylvester would write for himself. He's an Academy Award nominated writer. So, he won Best Picture in, 76? So, the quality's there. And I thought, oh, what a chance it would be to do this. I said, "Sly, can I do the movie?" He went, "You know what, you've asked me at the right time," because his head was in a different space. And he was okay with me doing a film. In fact, from there on, it was like on a fast track. So it was
interesting. So he was originally thinking of himself for this.
Yeah. It was going to be a Rambo, believe it or not. But like you say, people's mind. He wrote it way back, several years before he decided he wasn't going to do it, and he had other things that he was doing, and this just wasn't on the menu at that time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Now, how involved was he with the whole production? Was he around?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, he just loves what he does, and he's if it's something he's written, he's very close to it, and he feels very passionate about things being correct, and you really do injustice to it. I mean, imagine you writing yourself a personal project and having some idiot come in there and just destroy it. So he really cares, and he came to the rehearsals. We sat there for days with Isabella, who's this terrific young undiscovered actress, and he was there part of the process with me, Gary, and several of the other actors came in. I think James was working, so he couldn't come in. But yeah, he was an integral part of the rehearsals, and all the way through, he gave me some of the best encouragement I've ever had. Really making me understand what the guy was, and I was lucky to have that.
Interesting, because he really was like when I saw his name on the screen, I thought, yeah, I can kind of see Sylvester Stallone in this role a little bit, because he does love that mix of action and then the same thing, the tugging at the heartstrings. Yeah. And there was a little element I thought of, because someone was watching the trailer, and said, "Is this a horror movie?" And there was like a little bit of, I don't know if it was just because it was the night before Halloween, but there was something very ominous about it, which I like.
I think James Franco brings a large element of that. It's just because he's such an interesting actor, and the place that it's set in, in the backwaters of Louisiana, and we know what goes on down there with the terrible sort of cooking of meth, and all that stuff gives it that. We got on one hand, we got that pastoral sort of countryside, beautiful, horses and green trees, and then you got this underbelly of sinister stuff going on. I think it's a great thing. You get all that tension that builds up, and basically they know what's sort of happening from before the audience do, and you just want them to sort of get away before they get had.
I thought an alligator or whatever crocodile was going to come out. I was like convinced that that's the way James Franco was going to meet his end. Coming out of the swamps,
That's a good, interesting thing, yeah.
I'm glad they didn't pull that out. But I thought the scenes between you guys, that was in the diner, and
yeah.
How is it working with him? I'm interested about that.
Yeah, he's so good at what he does, and he comes with all kinds of gifts. So you're there. I think the scene's only as good as what's in the scene. You know, and if you're there talking to a wall, it's not going to be that great. So you got someone as great as James Franco. He brings so much more. So, yeah, to get to work with great talented people is the objective, you know, of every chance you ever get to work. You know, if you could only get that all the time. So it really raises the bar for myself and anybody else that gets to do stuff with James.
And then when you heard Winona Ryder, that's kind of like a curveball pass, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, even, you know what, having watched the film and seen everybody in it do what they do, I just thought Kate Bosworth was like, you know, just blew the part away.
Breaking Bad. I mean,
Yeah,
she was just like a
so
hot
good.
mess, right?
Yeah, no one saw that coming. I didn't see. You know, it was just a brilliant sort of such a contrast to what she really is. You know.
Oh, I mean, I thought, is she hanging out at a rehab center? How does she channel that?
I have no clue.
Like,
yeah,
God,
superb.
She looks so dumb.
Yeah.
She's so menacing, and in the beginning, I thought, I was like, man, you know, at the school.
Yeah, I know.
She just
And
looks evil.
I always thought that bit was a really sort of you know, an interesting point, because, you know, there's so much bullying goes on nowadays. You know, you hear it on the news, people are, you know, almost killing, well, they are, you know, some poor kids are, you know, rubbing themselves out just because of the disasters, what happens in the schools these days. And it's great that she turns it around. She actually lays out the school bully and gives it gives a whole new twist to what really happens mostly at school.
Yeah, I think that's what you're supposed to do, though. That's what I was. Lay him out, and he won't bother you again for the
They'll
whole year.
just leave you alone, yeah.
You know, or act crazy.
Yeah.
Just act like crazy. That's what I used to do in high school. I just acted like I was insane. And of course, always the question is how you get pumped for these roles. I mean, are you just like staying at an even level of workouts all the time, or you're maintaining? Or
You know what? I've done it for so many years, and I know what these parts require. And I tend to focus a lot more before we go and you know, get stuck in with a movie, and you try and make it interesting. You try and do stuff that isn't or hasn't been seen before. But you know, again, you're faced with many problems. But you just want it to be driven by what's really happening, rather than it be some fantastical sequence. And you go, oh, that was brilliant, but why did it do that? You know, everything's sort of driven through this because Sly's such a great writer. He pushes the characters along, and with that, you know, he throws in, you know, these situations which allow you to do the great action.
yeah, I mean, you were the real hero. You know, it's just this. You're indestructible. I mean, there was one point where I thought, ooh, is he gonna come out of this like when they were drowning you? That was that. I couldn't even watch that. The drowning scene. How did you do that? Like, how many seconds was your head underwater?
You know, I used to, you know, be a swimmer when I was, well, not a swimmer, I used to dive. I'm okay underwater, you know. You just hold your breath and let them do their little thing, and then they pull you up. It's not that dangerous.
They're laughing. They're all laughing. Like, ha, 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 ha. All these goons on top of you.
Yeah, you just have to hold your breath.
Now, it looks so real. These fight scenes looks like people may have gotten hurt. I mean, I don't know, but.
You just try to miss rather than connect. I mean, if you've done a good job and people think that you are actually, you know, hitting each other, then that's the idea succeeded.
Right. Is there anything that could have, you know, like it's seemingly indestructible. You can't, you know, the guns, you can pull them away. You're really good at that. You know, like.
Yeah, there's a real safety issue with the guns. I mean, if people are pulling in the middle of a fight scene, if people, you know, are pulling the trigger, it has to be, you know, in the right direction. There's a real safety issue. People have been, and sometimes still do, get hurt with those kind of situations. So, yeah, you know, the hand-to-hand stuff is usually quite safe. But accidents always happen. I know people get their nose broken and they go the wrong way when they're supposed to go this way. And
right.
Not when I'm around.
You're a perfectionist.
Yeah, some people do. They get, it's basically the adrenaline's pumping through the veins, and you know, the muscles react a little bit quicker than when, you know, you're rehearsing it. So things happen and people do get wet.
And it's at the end, you go visit the guy in jail, and it looks as if you're opening up a sequel. You know, I'm going to see you on the outside, or I'm going to get you back.
Chuck Zito.
Yeah.
He's my mate. I love it that Chuck was able to be in the film. It was great to work with him. He's such a character in real life. You know, sequels are always a good thing if people like the first one, of course.
Yeah, you'll become this Homefront hero.
Hey, listen, talking of sequels, I mean, I'm in part 7 of a franchise now that I would never, I'm doing Fast and the Furious part 7. So
Wow.
it shows you if things work, they just keep going on and on and on.
Now, obviously, have you guys ever worked out together?
We've been in the same gym at the same time, but we don't like. One more Sly. Jason, hey, give me 2 more pull-ups. No, we don't do that. No. We try and keep a decent relationship.
People at the gym must have been like, oh my God, I gotta see this. Maybe
Nah.
shut it down for you guys. I don't know. But...
Besides, he looks a lot stronger than me. I'm sure he's doing big and big heavy weights.
Oh really? You didn't do like a
A strongman competition
Yeah.
where we lift the boulder onto the platform, pull the truck with the rope. You know who runs a really good strongman contest, and it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, he does a really great one that he's the host of, and I get to meet all these big heroes now. These are I'm rubbing shoulders with the A team.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
terrific.
I loved it. I'm recommending it to all my friends and my readers, of course.
Of course.
All right, I'm getting the gong soon, so thanks. Any plans for South Beach?
South Beach. I have a very fond memory of South Beach. I stayed at the Shore Club when I filmed Transporter 2. Not sure that was a good idea. Yeah, it was. We had a little kebab shop downstairs that we used to go into this little nightclub called Mint if we got a couple of days off, and then we come out and get a late kebab. Me and my friend Jason Fleming, who I did Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels with all those years ago. It was brilliant. I love it down there. I love it. It's the best place.
Nice kebab memory. Mint is still around. It smells like mint when you walk in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it does.
Yeah. He's on the Real Housewives of Miami now, the owner of that club.
Oh really? Yeah, we
You'll
had
have
to
to stop in.
Yeah, I love Miami. It's a fun place. People are chilled out, and the party goes on, doesn't it? I spent New Year's here once. That was a sight for sore eyes.
Ooh, I can feel it now.
I need you to stay down here, okay, Maddie? There's a man with a gun trying to get into the house. Go. Get on the ground!
Let go of me!
Maddie, run! Maddie!
I'm really scared. Please hurry.
Trust me, I'm coming.